Good morning. We are live. It's 11 o'clock. Oops, here I am. I am Toni Tessler, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Okay, my thing looks straight. Let me get this going. Oops. And I can push this up a little bit. So let me know when you're here. Say hi if you're live. If you're watching later on Facebook here or on YouTube, give me a hashtag replay just so I know what's going on. If you are on YouTube, please subscribe. I know I keep begging people, but I have to get 100 subscribers and then I can change my name on my YouTube channel. Hey, Sue. I feel a little discombobulated. The neighbors are getting their driveway redone, and so we've been wanting to get ours done for a while anyway, and Dave went down there to talk to him. Then he changed his mind and left. Hey, Gail. And so now they're knocking on the door 5 minutes ago wanting to talk to me about the thing. I'm like, I don't have time to deal with this. Ugh, come back when you see the blue car. So we'll see how that goes. Back to today. So like I said, subscribe if you're on YouTube. I can always use some of these and some of these. I think that, helps get the word out and helps my video get shared and all that. So thank you for that. I just need to have some coffee. So today, Tuesday, April 8th, I wanted to show you some techniques with Versamark, like oldies but goodies, because I haven't used this in a while. And I'm going to use mostly the Pretty Perennials set. That is in the current January through June catalog. But first, let's go with mail. I only got one card this week, and I love it. Sean made this one. And first of all, I like the wooden bits. I like looking at them, and I seem to get them occasionally. Hey, Vicky. But then I'm always not sure about putting them on. But I like how she added them here. And I always worry that they're going to break, like in the mail, and that did not happen at all. And this was just like she had this in an envelope, no extra piece of paper or anything. So I'm glad to see that it's sturdy, that it made it. But this is a cool technique. You mask off different areas. This is the base of Designer Series paper. So you mask off different areas and then just blend in or sponge in some ink and create some different patterns. And then you just stamp stuff in it. So see how she had this masked off, so she inked a little here and stamped this flower. So you can see the edges, it doesn't quite go to the edge. I mean, it's, this part was masked off. So that's cool. I forget what this is called. So Sean, if you're watching later, tell me what this technique is called. I know we've done it a long time ago, but it is really nice. I like that, all different bits. Love it, love it, love it. In other news, I got my catalog last week, and I can't show it to you. I posted a picture of it. But then, Gail and Sue, I got my second one today. So the catalog that they mail us just for being demonstrators, that one came just like 15 minutes ago. So I don't know if you guys got yours yet or not. I've never gotten mine this quickly. So, we'll see. I did print out this hex chart just to show you the new ink colors because I don't have them yet. I've been waiting to do my pre-order so I can get bingo prizes, and some of the things that I wanted from the pre-order list we can't get yet, so I'm holding off. So I don't have any new stuff yet, but these are the new colors: Fresh Freesia, Polished Pink, and this color, I mean, this is a nice laser printer, but it's never the same as in real life, video. But Fresh Freesia, Polished Pink. This really is a nice pink, I think, in real life. Evening Evergreen, Soft Succulent, and Pale Papaya. And I really like them together. Oh, Gail, your pre-order comes today? Cool. Yeah, I wanted some of those other things like the DSP for my bingo prizes. And that one thing, I'm going to express ship it, but I don't want to do that twice. Wah. But this is handy for like if you're doing stuff online and you need like the hex code so you can make the words like the same color, Stampin' Up! Colors. So I like to print this out every year. Now whether I use it or not, who knows. Oh, look at this. Gorgeous grape. That doesn't even look purple. Huh. That's got to be my printer. All right. Anywho, let's start. So like I said, I'm going to use Pretty Perennials. And this is a distinctive stamp. So it's one of those that makes like shadows with the stamps. And it is a photopolymer. It does have dies. I'm not cracking these out because I already die cut the stuff. But I did get this as a bundle. And then I was using the words from Happy Thoughts. This is also from the January to June catalog. It is not in the next annual catalog. And neither is Pretty Perennials for that matter. Neither one of these are. So that's not to say that they are discontinued per se, because they have not been, they're not on that list. Yeah, Molly, you really like the new colors too? Yeah, I love them. I love the greens and the pinks. Yeah, everything together. But so just so you don't see something in the next catalog, it may be on a carryover list. So, you know, every mini catalog, that's what they do to us now is they'll have a list, like a little flyer that we'll print out, and it's a carryover, so we can order it for the next 6 months or so. So that's what I expect to happen with these. We won't know until the end of June. But as of now, these are not in the annual catalog. And this, I'm really kind of upset about this one because, A, it's somebody's $1 million stamp set. Well, both of these are. So you'd think they would like to have it available for more than 6 months. But this has just like all good greetings, you know, and the nice fonts. Birthday, thinking of you, thank you, congratulations. And this one just wanted to send some happy thoughts your way. Like, that's a nice card. And this is actually the one that I'm using for bingo. So, all right, that's what I'm using. And let's get started. Our first technique, like I said, these are oldies but goodies. So what I'm doing, this first one is called Resist Stamping. And I chose Cinnamon Cider because I wanted a darker color because it shows up better, like the contrast. Like, it's hard to see, and I know, you know, being on camera, it's even harder. But the darker ink stands out against the Versamark. So what we need is glossy paper, which we don't sell anymore, but a lot of people still have it, or photo paper. So I think this is glossy. Like, I had a bunch that I had cut out like in this size, and I had them just stacked up to use. So I really don't know if this is glossy or photo paper. I think it's glossy. But like I said, really, you get the same results. All right, so we've got Cinnamon Cider 5.5 by 8.5. Gonna fold that, and where's my bone folder? Actually, you know what? I need to stamp first because I want this Versamark to dry. So let me do the stamping, and then I'll do the rest of it. All right, so Versamark. These stamps I already put on a block because, hey Peg, I want to make like a pattern. So I put these 3 stamps on one block. Now, it's going to be hard to see on the screen for you guys, I think, but you can see it when it's in front of your face. So you just want to stamp Versamark and see how it does stick a little bit, and pull Versamark on the glossy. And like I said, you'll be able to see it on your own paper. But I'm just going to rotate like the paper so I get a different pattern, you know, variation in the pattern. And then I'm going to hold this up to the camera to see for myself, like if you can see it. So remember, Versamark is a watermark ink, so when you stamp it on like regular paper, it gives you that tone on tone. All right, now let me hold this up, because right now it kind of looks like vanilla on vanilla or white on white. Like, I can see it. I don't know if it's, let me look over here. don't know if this is coming out so good, but you want to let this sit and dry. So anything on glossy paper takes a bit to dry anyway. Like if you were to stamp classic ink on it, you would have to sit it off to the side. Now I don't want to heat set this. I just want to let it air dry. So we're just going to put it over here and let that go. Now we'll get back to this. So cinnamon cider, 5.5 by 8.5. I stamped the greeting already, and I'm going to hand cut that. And let me see, I need another piece of white. So I had already put these flowers on this longer block. So I'll just show you, stamp them again. This was easy because I did 2 sets of these. So when I did the die cutting for these, I actually laid the dies on top of these, and then I put a piece of press and seal over it. The dies, I've done that before with like the leaf dies. It's just when you're going to do multiples of something, it makes it a lot easier. So I could stamp a bunch of these, put the dies where they belong, and then set press and seal on top of it, then peel it up, and then, you know, cut those out, and then put the press and seal, like put the whole thing back on the next set, and the next set, and the next set. It just keeps your dies in the same spot. It's very useful. But see how we get this variation? That's good. I like it. All right, but I already cut some. So, let me close this for a minute. I'll clean this part later. I really do want to like let this part sit and dry some more. So I die cut my flowers, and this die has these other little ones that you can cut out. Actually, I think I left this. I'm going to poke these out. And I will tell you honestly, on this one, I left all the pieces in it because I couldn't get one of them out. And then I was like, not messing with it. They're all going to stay then. All right, so I've got that. And I probably could have done these in black. That would have stood out more. But I like this tone-on-tone business. So let's get all these little bits out. And I can throw this away. You did see it, Gail? Okay. You know, it's always hard to figure out what's showing up on the camera. All right, now before I get all these little pieces out, I still have some brown ink, I think, on this brush. I was using it, you know, last night. Oh, very little. Okay. So I just want a little bit of color around the edges of these flowers because I don't want that white stark. All right, so put that over there. Now you may be able to tell already that I'm going to do something different. Years ago when we did this technique, the resist stamping, we would use the rubber brayer. Well, we don't sell that anymore. I still have 2 of them. I do still use it for some things. But I'm going to use the blending brush this time. And it does work. It does get the same effect. All right, so sit that there for a minute. It's just different. It really does. I really feel some resistance when I'm going to go to... Ooh. Somehow I got something on this. Where's my paintbrush? I don't want something. So this Versamark is kind of sticky, especially on the glossy. All right, I don't think that's dry enough that I want yet. That's okay though. So I'm going to glue these little guys on. Now I'm just using regular glue, just a teeny tiny bit. The fine tip glue pen would be good for this too. Man, I can't tell you how mad I am about the driveway pavement guy coming. Like, my husband should have told them before he left. But I guess it's kind of good that they came back because now their price is lower. Funny how that works. All right, I think this is lining up. I think this will go this way. I'm sure it probably doesn't really matter. So I'm going to hold that for a second. Good enough. And then I'll get this little guy on here, and I'm just going to put some right in the middle. Teeny tiny bit. Boop. And right there. Okay. Glue all over me. Awesome. Not awesome. All right. So when I get glue on my fingers, I like rub my hands together, and then that like balls it all up. All right, still letting this sit to the side. We've got our flowers ready. So this bit of ribbon, I'm using two things. So I wanted to tie in the black and the cinnamon cider. So I've got the black glittery organdy and cinnamon cider. So I just pull both of them together. And I made this kind of long because you can always trim it. But I just want to make like a little, like the ribbon, like one of those. Let's see, just cross it over like that. And my favorite thing for this, just staple it. All right, and then I'll trim this. And then I'm probably gonna have to trim this down some more once I get it on my card. So I like to staple it. Just one is all you need because I'm gonna hide that with a flower and it's easier. And I'm actually gonna staple it again right onto the paper to adhere it. You could use glue dots, you could use glue, but if you're gonna be covering up this business anyway, I just use a staple, easy peasy. Okay, now let's cut this out because I really do want to let this sit as long as I possibly can. All right, now I have been on a big hand cutting kick lately, and I don't really know why, because this kind of thing used to give me the heebie-jeebies. We would call it putsy. It was too putsy. But now apparently it's not too putsy because I don't mind doing it. Yeah, when I would go stamp every fall in Minnesota, one of our girls out there, Di, we would call her the queen of putts because every little card, like if it would require some kind of hand cutting like this, she was all over it. So Gail and I would crank out a bunch of cards, and Sue too. Let's just say like we would each get 4 or 5 cards done, and Di would get like 3 cards done. And we were making for everybody. So like 4 or 5 times 4 or 5. It was just funny. Good times. We tease her. But then we still love her cards, so can't complain. All right, now I don't know if you can tell, but this is a little, I went back with the brush. So again, just to take it so it's not so stark and white, just giving it a little tint there of the cinnamon cider. Okay, so I've got that and that. All right, I think this has to be good enough because the show must go on. Put these ribbons away. So like I said, normally we would take our rubber brayer and ink this up. And we don't have a rubber brayer anymore, so I'm going to use our handy dandy new blending brush. And I like to like swipe it and then just start off the edge and just do the same ink blending that you've been doing, you know, since we got these. There is resistance from the Versamark ink. It wants to stick to your blending brush. So I found I really have to hold this part of the brush Like I have these fingers around the handle, and then I hold this part, just because it wants to, the Versamark ink wants to grab it. And I do have to be careful. I shouldn't be putting my hands all over it. Because the glossy paper, if you get your fingers, like fingerprints or, like oils from your skin, it will want to resist the ink that way as well. So I'm just going to go around this whole thing. And like I said, it is resisting. It's wanting to grab this brush. So I do apologize if I am shaking the table. I can't really do much about that just yet. All right, we're almost here. So this resist stamping, this is why I wanted to show you with a darker color, because it really just helps you see the contrast, I guess. But I like that. So something's up with my paper. I wonder if this was photo paper. I don't know if you can see down the side here. It's not really smooth. But how cool is that? All right, so now, this is resist stamping. Okay, so let me attach this to my black. So this photo paper or glossy paper, whichever it is, I cut this down to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then the basic black is 4 by 5 1/4. All right, so let me just hold this here for a minute. Oh, Gail, so you didn't sleep good? Boo. Hopefully today you'll feel a little better. All right, so I'm just going to give this a good press on the bottom. Now's when I bring this back. So I know I want this over in the corner. So this is going to be good enough. And like I said, I'm just going to staple it again. And that's all I need to keep this attached. And let's trim this. And trim that. Now you could pop this up on your card base, but for today I'm just going to glue it on because I think I would like that extra dimension. But frankly, all my black glue dots, dimensionals, I would have to find another pack. I have just enough of the little ones left to do what I want. So, keeping it flat. All right, now I'm just going to go in the same kind of pattern. I did use the black mini dimensionals, that's what I was talking about on this one. And so I'm just going to cut them up. Oops. Man, this doesn't want to come up. Okay, here we go. And then one more. Come on. So I really like all the tone-on-tone stuff. So I'm just putting that there. And this guy I laid down flat, like the medium one. And then I popped up the little one. It's hard to grasp. Oops. Okay, right here. And then our little happy birthday. I did pop that up, and I used these mini dimensionals are left over from a paper pumpkin kit. So when they give you tons like this, just make sure you use them. Why not? All right, how am I doing? 11:25. I do have a 12 o'clock webinar. All right, so let's put that there. Oops. I have a feeling that went a little bit crooked. Yikes. Okay. Shoo. All right, so this is this is just resist stamping. So now I want to show you Emboss Resisting, which is the same general idea, but instead of just stamping it in Versamark and letting it dry, we're going to emboss it, heat emboss it with clear powder, and then I'm going to do the same thing, blend the color over it, and I want you to see the difference. I think it's going to be brighter. So this, when I ink blend, some of the ink is going over the Versamark, so it looks a little brownish. I don't know how close I can get, but I'll be able to show you the difference. So same measurements, and this part, I'm not going to make the whole card. I'm just going to do the embossing part. And I just realized I forgot my embossing buddy. Let's make it that. Put this back over here. And I need my clear powder. Okay. So I don't really care if the embossing, if it gets everywhere, but I want to keep it as clean as I can. All right, so embossing buddy, boop, 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 stamps. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stamp the same pattern in Versamark. Random, trying to be random, and turning my paper around some so I get, the different flowers are going in different directions. Let's go here, and I do want things to go off the edge when I can, just as a general stamping choice. All right, I think I want, that's good enough. No, one more. All right, so now you could do this with, excuse me, not glossy paper. I did this a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago. I think it was my February workshop where we did the Emboss Resist on vanilla. And you get, smoother. It's smoother doing the ink blending, but same result really. Just glossy, paper looks different. All right, so this is going to be tricky trying to keep all of this powder in my container. I do like the glossy paper for certain things. I remember the coolest thing I ever saw with it, and it didn't even have to be with glossy, but remember when we used to have those kaleidoscope pads? When I first started stamping, the girl I signed up under had done a card with just like one small piece of glossy paper and that rainbow pad. I got some stuff in there. And then we corrugated it. But I just thought it was so cool, like the glossy paper just looks so neat. All right, so I've got all that covered with powder. Now let me bring in my heat gun and cook it up. Okay. Whew. So I know that's hard to see with clear and being the glossy, but you really just have to turn the paper to a certain angle to where you can see the powder turn, because you don't want to scorch it. It'll kind of like melt all the powder off. I feel like I have stuff everywhere. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take, actually, you know what? Let me grab this. I don't know if that's embossing buddy stuff or embossing powder. Wah. All right, so now we've got this, and I'm going to do the same thing. Ink blend all over it. Okay, so now I can tell already this is a lot smoother because the Versamark ink is not trying to grab my brush. But I can also tell I got some marks, and I don't know where that was from, but that's just my paper. All right, so this is going a lot faster. So this is called Emboss Resist. The first one was just Resist, the difference being that you are clear embossing. You could do white embossing too if you're doing, you know, white paper. Same result. It's just with the clear, if you use vanilla paper, then it's still vanilla underneath. Then again, I guess we have vanilla embossing powder. I mean, at least I do from years ago. Okay, so I want to try to get this even. I feel like I have more ink over here on the left side. Okay. I'm finished with the cinnamon. Now I'm not going to make a whole card out of this. I just want you to see the difference between embossing first and just doing the resist. All right, so let me get some more of this brown ink out of here. Guess I can do that later. The thing with the Emboss Resist is now I want to take a piece of paper towel. Oh, last one. And you just want to like buff over everything because ink has pooled up on top of the Versamark, on top of the embossed Versamark. So we're just wanting to buff it off of there. Yeah, now you can really see the difference. To see, you just get a little bit of ink up because it's all just sitting on top of what we've embossed. So now I can bring these back in and you can see the difference. So see, this is just resist stamping. We stamped in Versamark, let it dry naturally, and then ink blended over it. This we embossed in clear first. So you can see the stark, this is a lot whiter because we covered it up with clear embossing powder. So different, you know, just a little bit different look. This seems softer because it's not all, you know, white, and this really stands out more. So I like them, but those are some old favorites. So resist stamping, emboss resist. The difference being that you emboss it first. Okay, the next thing, 25 minutes. Okay, the next thing I want to show you, I only have 3 things. Another thing you can do with, thanks Sandra, yeah, it is cool. It is definitely something to try. The next thing I want to do, these are just tags that I've gotten in the mail, like from Unity, actually, Unity Stamp Company. I don't know, I think they just buy these in bulk, but you can make your own tags, but I just use these. So I'm actually going to use the new, we just got this stamp set, Etched in Nature. This is from the new catalog. We got it for our training session that we're going to be in on Zoom next week. I think Gail and Sue, you're doing it Friday night, and I'm doing it Saturday morning. So Etched in Nature, that's cool. I'm going to use this this little branchy one. But this technique I want to call, well, not I want to call it. It is called, faux metal embossing, I think. So what we just do is I'm just taking the whole ink pad and I'm going to cut this down. Versamark right on my paper. And it doesn't really matter what color paper you're using for this technique because I'm going to cut it. But actually I could get this down. So what I'm going to do is emboss this like a bunch of times so it's pretty thick. Oops. Alright, and then I have to put this back in. So this is going to be a bunch of Versamark powder, cook. Versamark powder, cook. But I want to keep as much powder in my container as I can. I will actually just keep that right here. So again, I'm going to go in the same spot and I'm just smashing my Versamark down there. And I'm using gold. You could use anything you want. One more time. See how I pressed that down? And I probably should have let that cool down some. All right, I'm gonna actually do this like 2 more times. Years ago, I think we used to call this like extra thick embossing too. Some kind of thick. They did have thick embossing powder years ago, but you could get the same effect by just doing it multiple times. So this is looking pretty cool. All right, once more. Well, actually, we're going to do 2 more. This looks really cool. Just like poured gold. All right, one more time. Oh, I just messed it up. I should have let that cool off. Dang it, and I messed up my ink pad. Oh, this is hot. All right, I'm gonna have to let this sit. So the end result, once I do it this last time, while the embossing powder is still warm, see, you guys get to see this screw up. But it's fine, I'm just picking it off. But once I do this last layer, while the embossing powder is still warm, I'm gonna ink up my stamp in Versamark, and then smash it on here. So it gets like debossed. So what was this called? Faux metal. So it's like you're making a piece of metal, and then we're gonna stamp right in it. Man, I'm kind of mad at myself for I should have just waited 10 more seconds. All right, but it's not the end of the world, because this next layer is gonna cover it right up. Okay. Still a little bit sticky. Let's try it. All right, let's give it some extra. Oh, and I got it all over the other edge of the paper. That's okay. All right, once more. I really want it to go over that area. See where that ripped up? Wah. All right, so we'll cook this. So this part I'm going to be quick about. I'm going to cook it, and then I'm going to ink up this stamp and stamp it right on top. All right, now I do have a small window. Oof, that stuck right on my hand. Tell you that was not a good feeling. All right, so I'm just gonna put this right down in it. Oh, I should have pushed it harder. So the idea was to get an impression, and that hardly did it. You know what? I'm going to try to heat that up again. How many things are not going to go? Yeah, it will melt in. I'm going to heat this up again. This time I'm going to stand up and really press on it. And this better work this time. Yeah, while it's still hot, you can definitely put more. Okay, I got a better impression. It's going to be good enough because I really just did want, you know, something. All right, now let me get this cleaned up. So what I'm going to do is cut that out and then add it to this tag. And I just chose a tag because I like making tags. We don't always have to make cards. I like tags because you can put them in cards, you can put them in journals, you can just give them to people and they can do whatever they want with them. I think it's a neat project and usually quick. This didn't seem to be as quick as I expected. All right, now before I clean this up, I'm kind of going off track here because I do want this. I'm going to come back in with some black ink, which is permanent. This is a Catherine Pooler. You could also use the VersaFine Onyx or Stays On. All right, yeah, I just wanted some. The black just shows up. That gives it a little extra. I know it looks like crap right now. Don't worry. It's going to come together. I do want to clean this pretty quickly. All right. So back to our tag. I want to stamp. I wanted to use like Mossy Meadow, and I thought that would go good with the gold. Mossy Meadow and some black. I'm just gonna stick with this image. Oh, yep. Forgot that I re-inked this recently. Okay. Yeah, I like that. So Yeah, Vicky, I haven't used this in a long, long time. So So definitely I'm a little bit out of practice with it. But it is cool. So if you build up this gold enough, it kind of acts like the wax, you know, stamps that people would do. All right, so I'm just going to cut this around. Because I think I want to try to rip it. Still feels a little sticky. Oh, that was the ink. Okay, so I guess this black ink isn't quite dry. I need to run some. This is just all kinds of stuff happening. I want to get this off my hands because I don't want to get it everywhere. So I'm just taking some alcohol and getting that off of there. This is just funny at this point. Comedic. All right, I have 15 minutes or so. So I can still see it is wet. So I'm just going to go around the edges. Now when I rip, when I pull it towards me, I get the white edge. I want that. If I was to pull away, the white edge would be on the bottom. Oh, this is like cracking. That's kind of cool. And I can feel the ink on me. All right, I don't really want that much white, so I'm just going to try to pick it off. I just want a little bit. Now, if you had like stays on, I just don't like using it. Sometimes I use it. Actually, there's one technique, faux tarnished foil, that I love using the stays on for. And actually, I'm probably going to do that soon. Ugh, look at that. Gross, gross, gross. All right, good enough. Now, we've done this before, and you stick it in the freezer. You know what? I need some more right there. Some more of these leaves. I got all kinds of stuff up here. Wrecking my new stamps. All right, and then let's do like stamp off. Okay. So this, let's wind some linen thread, which I have here. So my linen thread, like there was 3 strands together. I don't know if it was supposed to be like that. So I just want to wrap it around my hand. Let's go that much. And I'm going to try to tie it in a knot, just to keep it all together so it doesn't fall apart. Oh geez, I think my husband's home. I gotta talk to him about this driveway guy thing. All right, so that I want to be like right here. So let me get some strong adhesive. You could use the new Stamp & Seal Plus if you have that. I have this old Fast Fuse, so that's what I'm going to use. All right, and I'm going to do that this way. And I do want to pop it up. And in the interest of time, I'm going to use this little scrap from the foam adhesive sheets. All right, and then, oh, I'm liking this. Then I just want to add a little tag, a little bit, the greeting, cherish happy moments. Oh, of course that one fell. Oh, cherish happy moments. And I'm actually just going to stamp it on this other tag and rip the bottom of it off. So then I have the same color base, you know. So I need a block. And I'm going to do this in black just because it will stand out more. Cherish happy moments. Like I said, then I'll rip this. And try to rip this. I know the ink is still wet. All right. I'm just going to cut these straight on the sides. Now I would add some more ribbon from the top. Ooh, yeah, I like this. All right, so I need a little bit more piece of this, just because it's quick. And it's not going to be even, but that's okay. Let me just put some black dots on that, which I meant to do on my other card. Oh, this is a mess right now, my desk. So sometimes when I'm making tags, this is what happens. Like it starts, I have one idea that I start with, and then things change. And that is okay. I'm gonna put that up there. I like it. It's kind of, I mean, it looks messy. I know that, but that's like that's the look I was going for. And let's see. I was gonna say, I thought I had some Mossy Meadow. Yep, so this is the Braided Trim from the January through June catalog. And I think, I'm gonna have to double check. I think this might be in the next book. The Mossy Meadow. All right, so again, I'm gonna double these up. Actually, I want to cut the Mossy Meadow. I want another layer of this linen thread. So that's like double linen thread, one bit of Mossy Meadow. So fold it in half, feed this loop in through the front, and then whip everything up and over, and then just pull it, and then cut these. Ooh, I like that. All right, so that is faux metal with the Versamark. Let me bring our other cards back, and I have 5 minutes to get some of this cleaned up before my webinar starts. All right, so, and this I didn't finish, but this was the Emboss Resist, and this is just Resist, okay? So, thanks for hanging out with me and suffering through my embossing fiasco, but I do like how this turned out. I may, you know what, I may go back around here and take the black ink pad so that the edge of the tag really stands out. I think I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna do that before I take pictures and post on my blog. So next week, let's see, I don't know what I'm doing on Thursday, but next week, Monday and Tuesday, I'm back to my monthly class that, you know, I started at the beginning of the year, but I took off last month so we could get ready for our mega camp, our spring mega camp. But next week I'm going to do, it's a file folder folio class. So we're going to take a file folder and then you make like a little book out of it, and you can put pictures in it, you can put journaling stuff, like it's up to you. But that's like a whole big thing now. Actually, I have my prototype. So I've been wanting to do this for a year. It's going to be similar in style to this, but not these papers. We're going to be using the World of Good papers, okay? But so this was a file folder. It flips out. There's some pockets, pocket here. We've got these flip outs, pocket here, pocket here, pocket here. So it'll be different papers, but this same technique style. So I'm doing that Monday and Tuesday. And then next week, I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, thanks for being here. Have a great week. Hopefully we will catch Gail on Sunday. And that's it. Thanks. All right. Bye.